Indonesia is not just a country, it is a world of worlds. Stretching across the equator like a necklace of emeralds, this vast archipelago is made up of more than 17,000 islands, some densely populated, others untouched and mysterious. It is a land where ancient volcanoes shape the skyline, where dense rainforests shelter rare wildlife, and where modern megacities rise alongside centuries-old traditions. But before you board a plane to Indonesia, there are important things you should understand. Geography, culture, visas, safety, money, weather, language, food, and the hidden realities that don't always appear in Instagram photos. This is your complete guide to visiting Indonesia, explained clearly, honestly, and in depth. Let's begin. To understand Indonesia, you first need to understand its geography. Indonesia is the largest archipelago nation on Earth. Official counts vary, but most estimates place the number of islands at over 17,000. And when you include tiny inlets, sandbars, and remote islets, that number climbs even higher. 5 of those islands dominate the map: Sumatra, Java, Sulawesi, Borneo, which is shared with Malaysia and Brunei, and Indonesia's portion is called Kalimantan, and New Guinea, where Indonesia controls the western half, known as Papua. Among them, Java stands apart. With approximately 145 million people living on a single island, Java is the most densely populated island in the world. Imagine the population of Russia living in an area roughly the size of Louisiana. That density shapes everything: traffic, urban development, economic opportunity, and daily life. Indonesia's total population is now around 275 million people, making it the 4th most populous country globally. Only India, China, and the United States have larger populations. And then there is something else that defines Indonesia's geography: fire. Indonesia sits along the Pacific Ring of Fire, a massive arc of tectonic activity responsible for some of the world's most powerful earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. The country has around 130 active volcanoes, more than any other nation. Volcanoes like Mount Bromo and Mount Merapi are not distant landmarks. They are part of daily life. Yes, earthquakes and volcanic activity are real risks here. Tsunamis have occurred in the past. But modern monitoring systems and local awareness mean that for most visitors, travel remains safe. Still, it's important to understand the environment you're entering. This is a country shaped by geological forces, constantly evolving, and at the center of it all stands the capital city. The capital of Indonesia is Jakarta. With over 30 million people in the greater metropolitan region, Jakarta ranks among the largest urban areas in the world. It is a city of skyscrapers, malls, traffic congestion, business districts, and rapidly expanding infrastructure. Yet Jakarta is also sinking, literally. Parts of the city are subsiding due to groundwater extraction and rising sea levels. In response, the government has begun building a new capital city called Nusantara in East Kalimantan on Borneo. This move represents one of the largest administrative relocations in modern history. Indonesia is not static. It is changing quickly. Before you even step onto Indonesian soil, there are 2 things you must check carefully. Your passport must be valid for at least 6 months beyond your arrival date. You need the correct visa. Indonesia offers a visa on arrival for many nationalities. The cost is typically around 500,000 Indonesian rupiah, roughly 30 to 40 US dollars depending on exchange rates. You can obtain this visa online before departure or at the airport upon arrival. Getting it in advance online saves time and reduces stress after a long flight. The visa usually grants 30 days of stay. It can be extended once for another 30 days, either online or through immigration offices. Extensions typically cost the same as the original visa. For those planning longer stays, digital nomads, retirees, or business travelers. Longer-term visa options are available, but they require more documentation. Always verify current requirements through official government sources before traveling, as policies can change. So, let's talk currency. Understanding the Indonesian rupiah. Indonesia uses the Indonesian rupiah, abbreviated as IDR. At the time of writing, $1 equals roughly 15,000 to 16,000 rupiah. That means, yeah, prices may look pretty large at first glance. For example, a meal might cost 50,000 IDR, and a hotel might set you back about 700,000 IDR per night. Don't let all those zeros confuse you. Cash is still widely used across the country, especially with street vendors, small restaurants, and local transportation. While credit cards are accepted at major hotels and shopping centers, smaller businesses often prefer cash. ATMs are available in cities, but honestly, they are not always reliable. Machines sometimes run out of cash or reject foreign cards. It's wise to carry a reasonable amount, perhaps 500,000 to 1 million IDR, especially if you're traveling outside major urban areas. Bringing 2 debit cards is also smart. ATM issues can happen anywhere in the world. Digital ride apps like Grab and Gojek operate in many cities and offer both cash and card payment options. Weather. Timing your trip is pretty important. Indonesia's climate is tropical, which means warm temperatures year-round, usually between 25 and 32 degrees Celsius, with 2 main seasons, dry and rainy. In much of Java and Bali, the rainy season runs from November through March. The dry season typically lasts from April through October. However, Indonesia is vast, and weather patterns vary significantly by region. Northern Sumatra may experience rainfall while Bali remains dry. Parts of Borneo can be humid and rainy while eastern islands enjoy sunshine. If your goal is beach time, surfing, or hiking volcanoes, the dry season is ideal. But if you don't mind the occasional tropical downpour and enjoy lush green landscapes, the rainy season can still be enjoyable, often with fewer crowds. Planning around specific islands is actually more important than planning around the country as a whole. Language, a country of 700 voices. Indonesia's official language is Bahasa Indonesia. But here's something many visitors don't realize. Indonesia is home to over 700 local languages and dialects. In Java, people often speak Javanese. In West Java, Sundanese. In Bali, Balinese. And in remote regions, entirely different indigenous languages. English is widely spoken in Bali's tourist areas and in parts of Jakarta. But outside major tourist hubs, English proficiency decreases significantly. If you travel to places like Yogyakarta, Surabaya, Sumatra, or Kalimantan, having a translation app will be extremely helpful. Learning even a few phrases in Bahasa Indonesia, such as terima kasih for thank you or apa kabar for how are you, goes a long way in building goodwill. So when it comes to safety, Indonesia is generally safe for visitors. Violent crime against tourists is, honestly, pretty rare, and most travelers complete their trips without any serious issues. Of course, like any destination, certain precautions are necessary. Petty theft, especially late at night, can happen in urban areas. Bag snatching by motorbike riders has been reported, particularly after dark in busy districts. It's best to avoid walking alone in poorly lit areas after 10 p.m. Make sure to keep your phone and valuables secured and use reputable transportation apps or licensed taxis whenever possible. One of the most common causes of injury among tourists is motorbike accidents. Traffic can be chaotic, so if you rent a scooter, always wear a helmet and make sure you're comfortable driving in heavy traffic. Surfing, hiking volcanoes, and diving are all incredible experiences here. But they do come with natural risks. Always use certified operators and follow safety guidance. The good news? Indonesians are known for their warmth and hospitality. Most interactions you'll have will be friendly, welcoming, and genuinely positive. Indonesian cuisine is, well, rich, diverse, and deeply flavorful. One of the most iconic dishes you'll find is satay, grilled skewers of chicken, beef, or lamb, usually served with a thick peanut sauce. Nasi goreng, Indonesia's famous fried rice, is served just about everywhere, often topped with a fried egg. There's also mie goreng, which is basically the noodle version. You can expect rice to accompany nearly every meal. Seafood is abundant in coastal areas. Think shrimp, tuna, mahi-mahi, and even barracuda. Fresh tropical fruits like mango, dragon fruit, papaya, and coconut are widely available too. Street food is both affordable and delicious. But it's always smart to choose busy vendors with high turnover to ensure freshness. Indonesian food really balances sweet, spicy, savory, and smoky flavors. It's bold, but never overwhelming. Sure, Bali is the most famous destination, but honestly, Indonesia offers so much more than just Bali. From Bali, you can head over to Lombok and the Gili Islands for quieter beaches. East Java has some truly stunning landscapes, including Mount Bromo and dramatic waterfalls. Komodo National Park is home to the Komodo dragon, the largest lizard species on Earth, by the way. In Kalimantan and Sumatra, you can spot wild orangutans in their rainforest habitats. Raja Ampat, which is in West Papua, is considered one of the most biodiverse marine environments in the world. Indonesia really rewards exploration. The farther you go beyond the tourist trail, the more you discover. Indonesia is not a simple destination. It is actually complex, vast, diverse, sometimes even contradictory. It offers megacities and remote jungles, luxury villas and modest fishing villages, active volcanoes and serene coral reefs. It demands preparation, but in return, it gives unforgettable experiences. If you arrive informed, respectful, and curious, Indonesia can be one of the most extraordinary journeys of your life. Because in the end, Indonesia is not just a place you visit, it's a place that stays with you. And once you've seen its islands rise from the ocean at sunrise, you might just understand why so many travelers return again and again.